Hello, it is I, Dr. Brian Lorgon 111, and welcome back to Baba Is You. I've left a number of unsolved puzzles behind, but today I'm just in the mood to do new puzzles, so let's take a look at some new ones. This looks exciting. In fact, it looks bananas. Okay, flag is win. Powered level is weak could potentially be spelled. And so powered X means, is there an object with power anywhere in the level? And if so, then that object is powered, I think is how it goes. Box on I is power. And so there's lots of boxes on eyes, and so they're emitting power with their little lightning bolt animations. I and box is pull, which means I can move things around like this. Interesting that it behaves like that. I can pull a series of eyes, but I only pulled one of the boxes? That seems weird. Is there anything directional about that? Doesn't seem like. Well, that one pulled both the eye and the box. Maybe there's something else I didn't think of. There's like an and rock is push. Empty weekend has Kiki. Kiki is stop. Baba is you. Wall is stop. Flag is win. So obviously, just at the beginning, flag is win. We want to get to the flag, but that requires powered level is weak. If the level is weak, then that means any object on the level destroys the entire level, as seen in figure 1. So we need to turn off the power. Box on eye is power, so I need to get all the eyes off the boxes. And I witnessed that I could get an eye off a box. Well, it didn't happen that time. Why did it not happen that time, but it happened that one other time? Let me reset the puzzle. Like the very first time I did this, I thought, and we separated an eye? Yeah. Is it because they're looking in certain directions or something? I'm pretty unclear. There's some mysterious mechanic going on here. But let's ignore that mechanic and imagine that I can solve the puzzle without knowing it or understanding it, because there's a bunch of other rules here. I and boxes pull. Something and rock is push. Would cause empty to be weak and has Kiki. Kiki is stop. Alright, so I could only walk on spaces like that, and then I couldn't ever walk on the same spaces again. And that makes the eye no longer pull. I see. Which means only the boxes are pull, except for I'm stopping. Okay. And the rocks are pushable. Yeah. I get the gist of it now. And I do think pulling these eyes off these boxes is possibly... See, now it's not doing it. Was it doing it from the top? I think some of these objects get random facings at the start of the puzzle. And that's not intended to be part of the puzzle mechanics. That's my guess. So in any case, what I think is intended is I want to pull these objects over other objects that won't leave a trail of Kikis behind. Rather than do all of them, let's just do this many and then experiment. So I think the idea is, if I were standing here and pulled to the right and pulled to the right, I would separate the eyes and the boxes. And then I would be a little bit stuck, but I see what I could do. Yeah, so this was actually already super instructive. Great. Okay, so here's what I think I need to do. I want to pull these here. I want to pull these way over here, actually to here. Then I would be walking up here and could kind of go in any direction. So let's imagine I walked up here and left this one here and this one here, and the reasons for the particular locations I am leaving these will make sense momentarily. I'll also be able to push rocks, which I'm going to need to do here at the end. Oh wait, rock is push. If the rocks are pushable, then I'm not going to be able to stand on them. So yeah, before I do anything else, let me show off what I'm currently doing now. And so what I'm doing now is giving myself the ability to pull these two boxes away. Why did that not work? Because I wasn't standing on the bananas. So I put these boxes in the wrong spot. So imagine that I pulled them over the bananas over here. Then what happens with the rocks? Whoa, whoa, whoa. What happened to Kiki over there? Empty is weak and has Kiki, so wherever I push the rock, I end up with a Kiki. But I still can push the boxes away. Okay, that's what I wanted to know. And so basically, if there is a rock in front of a box, I can step there. It will never have been empty. It won't have created a Kiki, and that means I can pull the box away from the eye. So I think I have a better sense now. So I do want this here. Then next, I would be pulling these here. Then I need a way to walk all the way around and get on the bananas again. Yeah, which I could do. So that seems reasonable. Then, given that I'm going to be pushing the rocks, one of the rocks would have just been pushed upwards when I came up here, so I think I actually want that box there. And then ordering these boxes and trying to plan out. So I would have been like coming over here. And so I could have pushed a rock there. Actually, and then pulled it to the right. And there'd be a rock there. Which means if there had been a box, but there'd be a rock with a Kiki in it. So be careful. I think I want a box there. And a box here, maybe? It's plausible. Let's try it out. So, here is the plan. We walk over here. We pull two boxes off. Then we come over here. We pull two more boxes off. Then we come here and pull back. Oh, there's a Kiki. There's a Kiki in the way of that box. I've screwed it up already. Let's imagine that I hadn't screwed up the box that's just above me here. And I was still walking around profitably. And let's imagine it just by kind of skipping that section. Then imagine I came up here, pulled this guy to the right, went over here, pulled this guy down, then I need to push the rock, pulled this guy left. So those were all okay, and then I'd be able to walk to the exit. And so if I'd not screwed up the other crates in the middle, this totally would have worked. And so let's back up. And then the only thing I need to do is reposition crate number 3 somehow. I think just moving it 1 down, actually, would have solved my problem. So if I do this, and then pretty much go with the same plan, then I can pull this to the right. But I need to pull that one. I need to have pushed the rock. No, this doesn't work. I need to have not moved up. I needed to push a rock a different direction. What I've done is definitely wrong. I'm not sure what is right. There aren't that many options though, so let's just experiment. Suppose I had moved that over on the left-hand side. We pull these crates off. We pull these crates off. I pull this guy to the right. I still can't push that rock anywhere. So that one is a real problem. I'm unsure how to unpower that crate. Let's just practice the rest again. I can do this. And, except for I had to do it from a different spot, apparently. Oh, previously I went around the left-hand side, which I can't do anymore. Yeah, so these rocks are really causing trouble. So suppose I had done this first. There's still no way to get at that other rock. Suppose I had done something along these lines, leaving a lot of space over there. Could that have done something for me? There's still not a way to, like, push that rock and get in and out. Yeah, it's gonna have boxes on two sides. I can't have pushed it again. Yeah, because I can never push these rocks twice, right? Because, yeah, Kiki appears in one of them. Could I have pushed it downward into an existing eye? Because eye is no longer pull. That's probably what I need to do, or I need to push a rock into an eye. Let's verify that I can push a rock into an eyeball. Where can I verify that I can push a rock into an eyeball? There really isn't a good spot to do so. Can I create a good spot to do so? Probably. Suppose I had verticalized these guys. Is this what I want to do? I'd end up with eyeballs there. I think I actually want them here. Yeah, I want them, oops, here. I can re-pull this and get it where I want. Okay, so here is my new plan. And I want to pull the left-hand side down first. Okay, so let's walk all the way around here. Pull these guys downward. Then walk around here. Pull these guys upward. Then give myself some space over here. Push the rock onto eyeballs. There we go. And so that did not create a Kiki because the rock got pushed onto an eyeball, enabling me to do this. And then I could push this rock again. But it gets pushed into a space that now I can't escape, or can I? I still don't have a spot to pull this box off this eye, I don't think. Maybe I do. Almost. Like, I pulled it on top of the other eye. So yeah, the two rocks together are the tricky bit. And I kind of solved it, but didn't quite solve it by pulling the rocks onto the eyeballs. So let's take one more look at this. I was able to do this, and I could still move forward even, which would allow me to pull you to the right. Or, if back when I was here, if I pulled you to the right and the other box was somewhere that I could... suppose the box weren't to the left of me, but the rocks are still going to be here. Where did I want the other box to be now? After I pull you to the right, I would be able to step over here and push this rock to the left. So I'd want the box to be somewhere to the left of there. So I think I know what I want to do, which is basically If I move this 2 to the left, I think it might solve it. This seems very trial and error-ish. There's some reasoning, but it's hard for me to work out exactly what's going to happen. And so we'll just do it like we're doing it. So now, oops, I need to leave some room. Then I can pull you to the right. You're separated. Oh, but I couldn't push you... Oh, but I could do this. I understand. The rock who has not yet created an empty is sitting on top of this eyeball now. And I don't know that I can do anything with that. So imagine none of the Kikis were here. And there's a rock with an eyeball there. That doesn't actually help me. And so the problem is right here, because I'm pushing a rock and creating a Kiki on it. And I need to not create a Kiki on it. Because I need that rock. Or I need the space vacated by the rock that Baba is currently standing in. Is perhaps a better way to phrase it. I did a bit more trial and error fiddling, and I finally have something that works. So the key section over here with the 2 vertical rocks is like this. I push this one to the right, then I pull that box away from the eye upwards, at the same time pushing the second singular rock upwards, and then pull this back over to the right to separate those. And then I can just do the same pattern that I did over here, which worked so well before. Like so, and that should have unpowered everything, which means powered level is weak, but the level is not powered, which means I can walk over here and say flag is win, and win! Hooray! We did the thing. Okay, took a little while to get there. It's unfortunate that it had that weird bug at the beginning, where some of the eyeballs were getting pulled away from the boxes, even though they shouldn't be. Or at least I'm pretty sure it was designed not to be that way. In any case, let's move on to number 19, Hand Grabber 3. I'm guessing we will have the hand as one of the objects in this level. I was correct. Idle hand is telly. Rock is not shift. So I see the idle hands giving off their little teleporter vibes. So you can like teleport something into a pen. Hand is you. Okay, so I'm the hand, got it. Fence is stop. Yeah. Kiki eat cake. So I see a bunch of cakes. I see Kikis at the top right now. Okay, so the Kikis would go and try to eat the cakes. Which basically means if Kiki lands on or intersects the cake, it'll go away. Kiki's defeat, so Kiki's going to try to kill me. Cake is still. The cakes aren't going to move anywhere. Belt is... Eventually we're going to do this, which is going to say belt is shift. Rock is stop. Kiki is move. And the Kikis are going to go start causing havoc. Okay. So the rocks are not currently stop. I see, which enables me to get into the cake area right now, but eventually they will become stop. The belts are shift, or will become shift, and so I'll be able to place the belts wherever I want them, it seems like. Level without cake is win. I see, so Kikis need to eat all the cakes. Skull eat Kiki, skull is still. And the Kikis need to run a little maze in order to successfully eat all the cakes. Okay, this looks fun and straightforward. The limitation is that I only have... Wait a minute, how is Kiki ever going to get in here? Skull, eat Kiki. Skull is still. But the rocks are going to become stop, which means Kiki couldn't get in via the rocks either. So how are the Kikis ever going to get in here to eat the cakes? If I had 2 belts on top of one another... That would enable Kiki to go through a skull, I think. Let's remember how that works. So if I teleport a belt over there, and I teleport it back, and I do the same thing in the same location, so there are 2 belts there. They will both try to shift a Kiki at the same time. Oops. Something I didn't mean to happened. I apparently... Oh, I teleported the other one here. Crap. I just swapped their 2 positions. So can I not teleport 2 belts on top of one another? I think probably I cannot. In which case... I could, however... Is Kiki push? No. Can I shift a belt onto another belt? That would involve having 2 belts on top of one another, which I don't know how to do. Rock is not shift. Can I shift the rocks out of the way? Presumably, yes. Okay, so... Oh, and I can just move the rocks out of the way. I can just move the rocks out of the way. Got it. Okay. So, rocks are not a problem. I can just teleport them out of the way. Great. So, then, I just need to direct the Kikis inside. So, I'm not sure exactly how this is going to work yet. Let's just work on the rightmost Kiki for the moment. So suppose, first there's a belt shifting Kiki that way, and then there's a belt that shifts Kiki that way. There are no leftward belts. Okay. There's also no upward belts. The belts are only down and right. However, Kiki is move, and if Kiki were to run into a solid object, and the skulls are not killing me right now, and so I could put a rock inside the skull, I think. Let's test that. Yeah, and then Kiki would bounce off. My brain. So... This is still not easy to do. But at least I'm starting to have some vague ideas that it might be doable. So the next thing I would need is a right belt to go here. And... oh, there's no left belt, right. So... I guess we could imagine that the leftmost Kiki comes down here, gets shifted in the belt to the right, which faces it that way. No. Let's run this for a moment. I just need to verify my understanding of how things are going to work. Okay, Kiki would be able to move past the belt over there. Okay, so that's great. So then, if there were a belt here, that would shift Kiki down. Kiki would eat one of the cakes. Kiki could then move to the right and potentially bounce off of the rock. I can't shift the skulls because the skulls are still. Let's just triple verify that skulls being skill means they don't get shifted. So let's just run this really quick. Yeah, the skull that I put the belt under is not getting shifted. Alright, so that has been verified. So... it doesn't seem like I could have nearly enough belts and rocks. Like, in particular, if a Kiki wants to eat these cakes, at some point it seems like Kiki needed to be moving left. Well, I guess it could then shift down and right And if this were the final cake being eaten? Yeah, okay. And so... And actually, I don't need the rock here because I could have shifted Kiki down here and actually had the rock here. And this isn't going to be quite right, but imagine that there was a right here. Let's run this one a little bit and just see how far I'm getting. So just look at the left Kiki. Goes down here, eats a cake, delicious, yum. Goes down here, eats this cake, delicious, yum. But then gets trapped in a corner because the belt is in the way. If the belt were no longer in the way, it would be able to go and eat a couple more cakes. 3 more cakes, I think. So the question is, how can I make the Kikis turn? I've only got these 2 rocks. Okay, so maybe Kiki wants to take this path. Go down here, go down here. Do turn right. Then move downwards here. Then turn right here. Immediately bounce into a rock, which would turn you left over here. But we still never ate that cake. And there's still a bunch of other cakes, but let me just make sure all of that reasoning is correct. Yum, yum, yum. Okay, you can eat 2 cakes in one move. That's great. Yum. But yeah, now you're trapped down here again. And the other Kiki, like I have so few belts left and no rocks. This seems pretty impossible. Is there something I'm not thinking of, or do I just need to optimize my placement of belts and rocks? Kiki is defeat. I could be inside the maze, dodging the Kikis and reorganizing the belts, while Kiki is doing Kiki's thing, as Kiki is wont to do. I see. Okay. So I set this thing up so that they start moving, and then I start having a race with the Kikis to, let's just, you know, think about this one, to save Kiki and execute Bedlam or something. Oh, I can't stand on the belts anymore because the belts are pushing me around. And also the skulls, the rock has become stop. And so I also can't move the rocks around anymore. Is it... Hold on. It is possible for me to teleport a belt, but it has to be a belt that I was just shifted onto. So let's play with that for a moment. So I have a belt I just picked up. And so I could kind of chase Kiki around. But I can't replace any of the rocks. And I can only redirect Kiki downwards and rightwards. So here's what I'm thinking. The cake that the hand is currently sitting on right now has to be approached either from this side or this side. This side means it would have been moving to the left, which is pretty much impossible, just about. So it would have been coming from the south, which means Kiki would have been going to the north. The only way Kiki could have been going to the north is if there were a rock. So I'm going to use that as my kind of like initial constraint. So at some point Kiki is going to be redirected to the south, bounce off the rock, come up here. Then I need Kiki to make a right turn. Then I need Kiki to make a down turn. And then at some point, one of these Kikis can die, and then I can go and rearrange everything for the other Kiki. Except I can't rearrange the rocks. So the rock is going to have to be one of the key things. So the other place I'm definitely going to need a rock. So this has dealt with these cakes. I've already dealt with this one. The other Kiki presumably can somehow find a way to come in the other door. Well, if he comes in the other doorway. Comes in the other doorway. There would need to be a rock here to stop him, right? Yeah, I don't have enough rocks, is what it seems like. Okay, this puzzle seemed completely impossible, and so it occurred to me I might be missing something, and I figured out what I'm missing. You can shift a Kiki over the skulls using a belt. And so that's a way for the Kikis to go right through the skulls. Knowing that now, this is probably going to be a lot easier to do. So let's see. I can... It's still the case that the downward and rightward constraints are going to make things more difficult. But there's a lot more flexibility now. And so... It's like, if I could get a Kiki over here, I could spend like 3 rights and eat all of the cakes here, for example. And then... Yeah, I could do some rights and downs and like use one of the rocks and then bounce back and over here. So... Yeah, this doesn't seem nearly as bad now. So the question becomes... Which Kiki, where, and when? Or something along those lines. And also, I could shift like a Kiki like through the right edge of the puzzle and bounce back to the left, but then it would run into the skull, like trying to come back in, and then the belt would be facing the wrong direction, so that doesn't seem useful. So... It still feels like it's going to be difficult to get this cake in particular. Well, I'm starting to see a thing, maybe. Okay, so let's start placing some things. Let's imagine left Kiki is going to eat this cake and then come down and eat these 4 cakes. How plausible is that? It's still tough, like, even if like, there's a belt here that, like, makes Kiki turn left and right. We still have a problem. Oh, but I didn't think of... What I didn't think of is... Suppose this Kiki was turning and going this way, and could just go down through these skulls and then eat all of these. Yeah, so actually this Kiki could eat a lot. Kiki is very hungry, it turns out. So like this, I've already done most of it. Right? Let's just witness. Yum, yum, yum. Oh, I see what happened there. And I see how to fix it. What happened there was Kiki landed here and got shifted to here, and then moved and ended up inside the skull. Basically, I don't need this one. So let's put it aside for a second and watch again. So, left Kiki, yum, 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 move, yum, yum. Okay, that's great. And I haven't even used any of my rocks yet. And I still have a number of resources left. So this is seeming very plausible now. So, other Kiki. How many downs do I have left? I have a couple, which seems like all I'm going to need, because I need one here. Suppose I had one here. And suppose I had a rock and a right arrow here. Does this already do it? Like, do I have lots of leftover resources? Let's witness. Yum, 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 yum. I did it! Congratulations! Okay. That made things a whole lot easier. Shift right over the skulls, of course. I probably shouldn't, but I want to take a look at another puzzle. Rake is the name of this puzzle. Alright. Raking it up. Hedge and fungi and foliage is stop. Except for fungi currently isn't because fungi is not stop over there on the right. GG is you. I'm GG. Look at me. Foliage. Belt is push. Belt is shift. Flag is... and eventually win. But there's a bunch of stopping foliage that's going to prevent me from going this way and doing amazing things. Also, the belts are currently push. So they can be push for a time, and then at some point I turn off the push ability of the belts. And then they'll just be shifting. But we have to somehow have foliage stop being stop? No, what we need to do is shift the foliage away. Oh no, we could say foliage is not stop. And then shift, I see, so we're gonna turn the belts on and off while also swapping between foliage, oops, didn't mean to do that, foliage and fungi being the ones who are not stop. So if foliage was not stop, then we'd be able to get one farther over. Oh, I need to make a mechanism where it's just going to rotate them back and forth, don't I? I believe that is what I'm doing. And we have 4 belts, and that is typically enough to make something that rotates text in 4 directions so that the text just keeps spinning around and around. Yeah. Okay, so belts are pushable. Let's push some belts. So suppose I had a belt like that. They're actually going to need to go upwards and rightwards or something. I'm just going to kind of wing it and see how it turns out here. So that's not good. Hold on. Yeah, and then one of the pieces of text would be bumping the other one. Yeah. So then... I think it's just going to be something like... This is almost straight, I think. But I need that text in there. So let's bring the text out. For, this is... Sokoban! Let's bring the text out. Let's have one of the belts facing downward here. I want this belt facing rightward here. And that might be the engine I need. And so then if I pushed a word there, I would say fungi is not foliage, and if I pushed another word there... Oh, I thought this rightward belt was gonna, like, bounce it around, but it doesn't. So... Alright, let me reorganize my belts. The positioning here is awkward. I'm not sure that this is going to work. So if I stick another word in here and have it going around, foliage is not stop. And then that just stops the engine. I need it to keep going. But I don't think I could have... Well, maybe I could just have all 4 of them. Alright, suppose I just did the quote-unquote obvious thing. I need the belt to be pushable again, please. Thank you. And so if I did this and just had all 4 of them pressing against each other, then does this work? Okay, that's cycling around, and then if I just push foliage at the right moment... Foliage, fungi, yeah, that seems like it's working. And so then I should just be able to walk to the left eventually, why am I not walking to the left? When is fungi? Oh, I need them. I need them both to be not stop at the same time, which I do just by shifting the two words on top of each other. I've been doing completely the wrong thing. It was a misdirection, I do believe. What I believe is that I need to do something more... Oh, belt is always shift, though. Alright, here's my first attempt. If I push fungi down and foliage left, there we go. It worked. Okay, that was actually not bad at all. And now fungi's not stop and foliage is not stop at the same time, which means I can just go win. Okay, a little bit of misdirection and cleverness. That's fine. And that's a fine way to go ahead and end this episode. So I'm going to say, I hope as always that you are having a great day, and I will see you again soon with more Baba Is You. Baba braves the internet. For now, bye-bye.